Microsoft 365 Copilot certifications are finally here, and right before Microsoft Ignite, Microsoft Learn went big with not one, not two, but three new Microsoft certifications, and you'll notice a brand new badge design over here because for the first time ever, we have certifications for business users and business leaders, which up until today, Microsoft only had technical certifications. We have our first business user certifications with this brand new design, which looks kind of cool if I'm going to be honest, as well as two brand new free-to-take Microsoft applied skills about M365 Copilot. In this video, we will cover the 5 new credentials, so 3 certifications and 2 applied skills, and we're even going to cover a way that you can get 80% off those certifications, but you'll have to do it fast. So if we look at a high level, our first new certification is Copilot and Agent Administration Fundamentals. The second one is AI Transformation Leader. We then have AI Business Professional. Next up, we have our first applied skill, which is Generate Reports with AI Research Agents. And last but not least, Streamline Business Workflows with AI Chat. So we're going to deep dive into each one of those. And if ever there's only one that interests you, you can use the chapters in this video to navigate to learn about the credential that you want to learn about. Now let's start by covering the Microsoft 365 Certified, Copilot, and Agent Administration Fundamentals. This is exam code AB900. Now for those of you following the channel, you have seen this exam code before because we had a hint that was coming and I did a video on it, but this was called the AI Workplace Fundamentals. Quite the name change between what we heard about before and what it ended up being named. And this is why it's important. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any more certification news. This exam will cost $99 or cheaper, depending on what country you live in. In Canada, it's a bit cheaper, but I know the highest price it can be is $99. And the audience for this one, this is meant for administrators. Of course, it's the administration fundamentals. But at least in theory, I do think that pre-sales could take this exam. I do think that this exam can be taken by a bigger audience than just admins, but I'm actually taking it on Monday, first day of Ignite. So stay tuned for that video. I'll do a first reaction video right after I take it. So make sure you check out that video if you want to learn more, and I'll tell you what I think about it. If we look at the overview, what does Microsoft say about the exam? As a candidate for this Microsoft certification, you should be familiar with Microsoft 365, including core services, security, identity and access, data protection, and governance, along with Microsoft 365 Copilot and agents. Additionally, you should be familiar with the admin centers used to access Microsoft 365 workloads, such as Exchange Online, SharePoint and Microsoft 365, Microsoft Teams, Microsoft Entra, and Microsoft Purview. You need to have experience with AI-driven productivity tools and modern IT management practices. You must be able to identify the roles of the core features and objects available in Microsoft 365, such as users, groups, teams, sites, and libraries. Plus, you should understand the core security features of Microsoft 365, such as authentication methods, conditional access policies, and single sign-on. Now, if we take a look at the skills measured, and this exam has 3 skills measured. They're all about the same weight. The first one is identify the core features and objects of Microsoft 365 services. This is worth 30 to 35% of the exam, and I'll be honest, at first look, this seems to be a lot of the MS 900 exam. Next up, for 35 to 40%, we have understand data protection and governance tasks for Microsoft 365 and Copilot, and finally, 25 to 30% perform basic administrative tasks for Copilot and Agents. So you know what, before we move to the next one, let me go here and I'm on the page for the exam. You'll have all of the different links inside the description below here. Um, you see sometimes, especially as Lnks beta, Microsoft says here the product is Azure AI Services. It has nothing to do with that. What I want to show you here is, let me go to the study guide, which isn't much of a study guide if we're honest, but what we care about more is the skills measured over here. So if we take a look here at the first part, identify the core features and objectives of Microsoft 365 services, we need to explain how license types assigned to users and groups affect access to Microsoft 365 features. Explore the organization configurations by using the M365 Admin Center, so the domain names and organization settings. Identify the appropriate objects to configure by using the Exchange Online Admin Center. Same thing for SharePoint in Microsoft 365. Notice how they don't call it SharePoint Online like we always did. They call it SharePoint in M365. So really interesting. And by the way, it's really funny that they say inside the SharePoint in M365 Admin Center, you can configure libraries and folders. Yeah, I'm not sure about that one, but that's what the beta period is for. Identify the appropriate roles and permission for sites and what to configure with the Teams Admin Center. Then Microsoft 365 security principles, zero trust, authentication, authorization, threat protection and intelligence, and Microsoft Defender XDR. After that, of course, understand the features and capabilities of Entra, conditional access policies, MFA, Secure Store, PIM, things like that. A bit of overlap here with the SC900 exam, but that's okay. Security is important. We then go into the next big objectives, which is data protection and governance tasks for M365 and Copilot. This is where we get some really cool stuff. So Microsoft Purview Information Protection, Microsoft Purview DLP, Insider Risk Management, Purview Communication Compliance, Purview DSPM for AI. This one actually makes sense, and Purview Data Lifecycle Management. Now, the problem that I have a bit with this is that, you see, this is just one bullet point, but it's huge. This is so many different products in here, so many things to understand. So a lot of training will be required. This exam is way bigger than I expected it to be, and will cover so much content. I'm really curious to see. I'm really curious to see how deep it actually goes when I take the exam. But this is a lot of content for people to learn. Sensitivity labels, data classification in Purview, retention, all of that makes sense. Now we have some Copilot stuff. There we go. Understand how Copilot accesses data, understand how Graph influences Copilot responses, understand how Copilot uses permissions and other controls in M365, and responsible AI principles. Awesome. Now we're talking Copilot. You see, all of this for me makes a lot more sense and is a lot more attainable than before. But again, this is what Microsoft chose for the certification. Next up, let's see what we have here. Identify sensitive information with Purview Data Explorer. And this is, again, a lot of the stuff in Purview that we already talked about. Insider risk management, DLP, communication compliance. So this is kind of repeated a bit here. However, we need to look at it from a Copilot angle. So for example, here, the communication compliance, not only to figure out bad communications, people being mean and things like that, but more what kind of prompts are they asking? That's how I'm reading this. Then, finally, some stuff about oversharing in SharePoint. I feel like this should have been in exams before, but Identify the tools to troubleshoot oversharing in an organization. SharePoint Advanced Management. So this SharePoint Advanced Management is amazing to finally have it as part of a certification. Now, I wish this was an associate level certification and we went deeper because I can honestly, at conferences, when I do a session, I'm having trouble talking about SAM in only an hour. So I'm not sure how deep they expect us to go, but again, I feel like it's just so much content that they expect people to know, uh, especially beginner admins for a fundamental. So interesting. Let's move on. Perform basic admin tasks for Copilot and Ajax. Compare the built-in capabilities of Copilot and Ajax. This makes sense. Compare Copilot monthly license model and pay-as-you-go, including SharePoint Ajax. This is awesome. Makes sense. They're going to need to update it often. Identify which Copilot features can be enabled and disabled, and identify use cases for the researcher, analyst agents, and for custom agents. Awesome. Perform basic admin tasks for Copilot, assign Copilot licenses, monitor and manage Copilot pay-as-you-go billing policies. Wow, that'll be a big topic. Monitor Copilot usage and adoption, including Copilot Analytics and the M365 Admin Center. Manage prompts, including saving, sharing, scheduling, and deleting. This all makes sense. Identify how to configure user access to agents, create an agent, approval process for agents, and monitor agents. All of those make sense. So if I go back to the slides here, look, I'm really looking forward to taking the exam on Monday, but at first look, it just seems like a lot. Especially that this is all supposed to be done in one single day of training to cover all the M365 admin centers, to cover permissions in SharePoint, to cover SAM, to cover Purview, to cover. Wow, it's it's a lot of content, but again, maybe it might go at a very high level. We'll see. When I take the exam, I'll share with you what I can, of course, without breaking NDA. But yeah, my feedback on this, great exam title. I love it. I feel like the content is a bit too much, but let's move over to the next one. Our first ever AI Business Professional certification. This is exam number AB730. It costs 99 US dollars or cheaper, so same price as the fundamentals. And the audience for this one, it says administrators and business users. Really interesting. If we take a look at the audience, as a candidate for this Microsoft certification, you should have experience using generative AI powered productivity tools, including Microsoft 365 Copilot, Researcher, and Analyst. You take advantage of AI to improve daily work, drive business outcomes, and make informed decisions in business context without building AI apps or writing code. You should have a basic understanding of Microsoft 365, and you should be comfortable navigating core apps such as Outlook, Word, Teams, PowerPoint, and Excel. You should also be familiar with common business processes, including drafting emails, creating presentations, generating images, and managing documents. This all makes sense for now. Now let's take a look at the skills at a glance. 25 to 30% understand generative AI fundamentals. 35 to 40% manage prompts and conversations by using AI, and 25 to 30% draft and analyze business content by using AI. Let's dive deeper into the details here, and let me go to the second page here. Again, this is in beta as of today, and let's go to the study guide so we can learn more, and I'll go to the skills measured. Let's take a look at what we have here. Understand generative AI capabilities across M365 experiences. So understand how Copilot works to keep your organization's information private and secure, how context works can affect Copilot responses, the difference between a chat experience and an agent experience, use cases for creating your own agent, and the difference in features and capabilities of the Copilot experience in various M365 apps. Awesome. Next, identify responsible AI and data protection practices. So common risks including fabrications, prompt injections, and over-reliance. Select verification steps appropriate to the tasks, including citation checks and human review. Awesome. Oh, wow, that's it for the first one here, okay? Then, okay, 35 to 40%. Understand how to create an effective prompt. That's really important. Select, I do wonder how they're going to test it, but we'll see. Select appropriate resources to reference in a prompt, save a prompt, schedule a prompt, share a prompt, how to delete and rename a chat, add a conversation to a notebook. I'm surprised they don't have understanding notebooks before, but maybe it will come later. Understand when to use the agent store versus creating a new agent. Create an agent by using a template. Create an agent that has knowledge. Well, they all do, but I know what they mean. Configure agent settings such as instructions, capabilities, and suggested prompts, and share an agent with team members. I'll be honest here, I love this exam so far. It's hitting 100% of its target audience. Draft and analyze business content by using AI. So draft business documents and communications, create a new document from a prompt, generate a document from an existing document, generate a management summary based on a document, move data and insights between M365 apps, describe how to use Copilot for meetings, how to use Copilot pages for collaboration, and how Copilot uses memory and instructions. This exam is perfection for me, I'll be honest. Those are the exact skills that I would expect from this kind of exam. So let me put them back on the screen here. This is perfection. I cannot wait to take this exam. Next up, we have our AI Transformation Leader exam, which is exam number AB 731, same cost as before or cheaper. And the audience for this one is business leaders. Really surprised to see a business leader certification, but let's take a look at what we have here. As a candidate for this Microsoft certification, you should understand how to recognize opportunities for AI transformation, identify the right AI tools and resources, plan for AI adoption, optimize business processes, and drive innovation by using M365 Copilot and Azure AI services. Really interesting on that one. This certification is designed for business decision makers at all levels who are responsible for guiding transformation and innovation within their teams or organizations. In this role, you're expected to demonstrate AI fluency, strategic vision, and the ability to lead AI adoption across teams and functions, but you're not expected to write any code. It's not like the previous ones had code, but they added it in here. As a candidate for this certification, you should be able to evaluate AI opportunities, champion responsible AI practices, and align AI investments with business goals. You need experience leading adoption or change management in a business context. You must also be familiar with Microsoft 365 services, Azure AI services, and general AI capabilities. You see here they mixed M365 Copilot and AI, so really interesting. So, skills at a glance, identify the business value of generative AI solutions, identify benefits, capabilities, and opportunities for Microsoft's AI apps and services, and identify an implementation and adoption strategy for Microsoft's AI apps and services. You can see 35 to 40% for the first two and 20 to 25 for the last one. So again, not exactly, but pretty fairly split. Let's move over here to the exam. I haven't scheduled the last two yet. I plan to do it soon, but since I'm at Ignite next week, I wanted to do one in person. The rest of them I'm probably going to do online, but can't wait to do them. I'll do a video for those as well as soon as I end up taking them on a first look and my first impression. So let's take a look here at the skills measured. So identify the foundational concept of generative AI, describe the differences between Gen AI and other types of AI, select a Gen AI solution to meet a business need. Wow, this is not specific at all. Describe the differences between AI models, including fine-tuned and pre-trained models. Explain the cost drivers in generative AI usage, including tokens and ROI considerations. Identify the challenges of using Gen AI solutions, including fabrications, reliability, and bias. And identify when Gen AI solution can provide business value, including scalability and automation. So as you can see so far, this is very, very general AI, not M365 Copilot technical, but Gen AI at a high level. Then we have described the impact of prompt engineering and understand the technique, identify business requirements for grounding solutions, understand how retrieval augmented generation, RAG, is used for AI solutions, describe the importance of secure AI or scenarios where machine learning adds value. Wow, this is I think it's a good exam for leaders. I wish that most of the leaders I work with would have that kind of technical knowledge so I can appreciate that. Um, it's bigger than I thought. I can't wait to see this next one here where we talk now Copilot specific. Identify benefits and capabilities of Microsoft 365 Copilot and Microsoft Copilot. I'm sure poor leaders, like most of us, are confused with the branding here, but it's okay. Map business processes and use cases to Copilot. Understand differences in capabilities between versions of Copilot. Understand capabilities of M365 Copilot Chat web and mobile experiences. Understand capabilities of the Copilot experience in various apps. Understand the capabilities of Copilot Studio. This is where it's really tough as a trainer for me to know how much to cover content for an exam where Microsoft says, understand the capabilities of Microsoft Copilot Studio. I can't wait to see, do they just want to know you can create agents and call workflows and things like that, or do they want you to know how to use it? Hopefully it's the first one, which is just understanding the capabilities at a very, very high level, especially for a business leader audience. But I can't wait to see what kind of questions I'll get in the exam. Understand capabilities of Microsoft Graph, that makes sense. Map business processes and use cases to Microsoft's AI apps and services. Researcher and analyst, Microsoft seems to be pushing really hard on those agents. And identify when to build, buy, or extend, including the Microsoft 365 Copilot Extensibility Framework. I love it. Next up, we have Azure AI Services. Map business processes and use cases to Azure AI Services. So Azure AI Vision, Azure AI Search, and Azure AI Foundry. Match an AI model to a business need and identify the benefits of Azure AI Services for Gen AI, including scalability and security. Makes sense. And after that is the final objective. So explain the importance of responsible AI, establish governance principles for AI use, establish an AI council to guide strategy, oversight, and cross-functional alignment. Okay, ensure that AI solutions meet responsible AI standards. That's good. Establish an adoption team, identify common barriers to adoption, establish an AI champions program, and of course, understand the different licensing types. I'm sure it's everyone's favorite subject. So if we go back to the slide over here, before I move on, let me give you my thoughts on it. So I'll put those back here. I think this is a great exam. I hope they're not going to go too deep in the details. I feel like Microsoft sometimes has trouble finding questions for the exam, so they go too deep or they nitpick on details. If the questions end up matching the objectives and it's actually understand and not how to do stuff, I think this is a great exam for business leaders. However, there is again a lot of content in here with when we talk about Azure AI Foundry, Copilot Studio, Copilot, agents. Wow, there's so much content in here, but I do think this is a great exam and I think this is doable. I cannot wait. Now, as I promised you, I wanted to share how you can save 80% off the beta exams, but only for a limited time. So Microsoft always gives us discount codes for beta exams, but it's limited to the first 300 people to take each exam. They came out today as I'm publishing this, so I'm sure you still have a chance if you're subscribed and you're watching this video as it comes out. You have a chance to get them. You have one for the AB900. AB900 Goals 26, for the AB730, AB730 S'more 25, and then for the AB731 Markers 25. So really interesting. I'll put in the description the deadlines and everything until when you can take them, but try to take them as soon as possible. The sooner that people take the exam, the sooner it will come out of beta. So let's schedule them, let's get them done, and of course, let's save some money. Now let's talk about Microsoft Applied Skills. Like I said before, 2 of them got released today. The first one is Generate Reports with AI Research Agents and Streamline Business Workflows with AI Chat. Remember, AI skills, just for those of you that haven't taken one yet, this is a hands-on experience. You can take it whenever you want. You don't need to schedule it. You don't need to be proctor. Whenever you have 1 hour, you can go take them online from wherever you are in the world at no cost. So those are free to take. If I'm honest here, great practice for the 3 certifications we talked about before. But let's cover them at a high level. So the first one here is Generate Reports with AI Research Agents. This is, it's not exam number, but the ID is APL 6501. No cost, like I mentioned before, and the audience is business users. Now, who's it for? To earn this Microsoft Applied Skill credential, learners demonstrate the ability to generate business reports by using AI research agents. Candidates for this credential should be familiar with generative AI, and they should also have experience using prompts in Microsoft Copilot. Okay, this seems pretty easy, and the tasks at a glance. I won't go deep in the details because this video is already running pretty long. We covered so much stuff. I'll have the link in the description so you can go and check them. But you need to be able to define scope, identify resources, and create an initial draft for a report by using Researcher, refine a report by using the Researcher agent, and finalize the report by using the Researcher agent. So I guess it's safe to say this is all about the Researcher agent. And I'll be honest here, all those seem pretty easy. What I'm really excited, and I can't wait to see, I'll do it this weekend for sure, is that there is a time limit for applied skills, and the Researcher agent can take 5, 10, even sometimes more minutes to give a result. So I can't wait to see time management for this applied skill. I feel like that will be the biggest challenge, but I can't wait to take it and try it out. Finally, our last one is Streamline Business Workflows with AI Chat. This is APL 6500. The cost is free again, and the target audience is business users. To earn this Microsoft Applied Skill credential, learners demonstrate the ability to streamline business workflows by using AI Chat. Candidates for this credential should have a solid understanding of working with Microsoft 365 Copilot Chat. They should also be familiar with Microsoft Edge, Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Outlook, and Excel. This is actually looks pretty simple, so what do we need to know? We need to be able to streamline web productivity tasks by using M365 Copilot Chat, draft and refine documents by using Copilot in Microsoft Word, draft presentations by using Copilot in PowerPoint, manage emails and responses by using Copilot in Outlook, and explore data by using Copilot in Microsoft Excel. And now for a last opinion on the applied skill. I think this is really interesting. Again, I'll take it this week and let you know more then, but this looks pretty easy. This looks like a very business user focused audience, but I can't wait to try it. You never know when Microsoft throws a curveball and you get a very difficult task. But what I want to know, and please let me know in the comments, which one do you plan to take? Remember, we have 3 certifications, 1 technical, 2 for business leaders. We have 2 free to take applied skills you can take right now. Please let me know which one do you plan to take, or if all of them, what order do you think is the easiest one to study in or to take them in? But before you leave this page, on the screen right now, you're going to have another video that talks about the latest news in Microsoft credentials. So make sure you go check it out so you're up to date on everything Microsoft credentials. I'll see you there.